Women's basketball game day on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. Today from Cintas Center, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Xavier University. The Xavier Musketeers play host to the Butler Bulldogs. Mike Schmaltz alongside Rich Hoyt here with you courtside. And Rich, a couple of teams trying to establish some new identities this year. Butler with 8 victories so far this season, 0-2 in conference. They're coming off one of their best seasons in school history.
Yeah, coming off one of the best seasons, but a lot of players to replace. And Kristen Spolier, one of the top scorers in the Big East Conference, she leads that charge for the Bulldogs. Where conversely for Xavier, you've got the best rebounder in the conference in Ariana Gray, who also is the leading scorer at about 15 points per game.
Musketeers with a first-year head coach, also 0-2 in conference. Both teams lost to Seton Hall and St. John's last weekend, and they are trying to score their first victory since November, the opening day.
Yeah, you're not going to find a coach that's more optimistic than Mel Moore. Xavier has gone through some struggles in the non-conference season, but she's confident that this team continues to get better, and they're going to find some success at some point this season.
Butler trying to fill in for the loss of 3 really good scorers from last year, 3 continuity players, and are doing it with Kristen Spolier up front this year.
Yeah, Kristen Spolier, as I mentioned, the second leading scorer in the Big East Conference, averaging almost 19 points per game, and Kurt Godlewski really looking to her for her offense throughout the season.
And then you go back to Ariana Gray, a preseason All-Big East selection for the Musketeers, really averaging a double-double this season.
Yeah, and Ari Gray early on in the non-conference season was banged up a little bit, was hurting. I think she's really starting to hit her stride, averaged 21 points per game opening weekend of the Big East last season.
Rich, what will be important today for the Butler Bulldogs?
Well, I think for Butler, you've got to hold on 64. That's a magic number. They've won every game this season where their opponents have scored under 64 points. Also, they got to put 4 quarters together. They had second-half breakdowns in their Big East opening weekend against St. John's and Seton Hall at home last weekend. For Xavier, they got to continue to trust the grind. They've dropped those 12 straight games, but Mel Moore believes this team is making some progress. They're close to turning the corner. And also, I think they got to let it rain. They're shooting better from outside the three-point line than they are from inside the three-point line this season. So I look for the Musketeers maybe to try to put up a few more three-point attempts.
Musketeers will be without their second leading scorer today. That's Carrie Gross, a sophomore guard at 5'11". She's averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple assists a game, but they will have Morgan Sharps, a freshman, making her first start. She's from Granville, Ohio. Her career best was 24 points against Cincinnati, dropped in 6 threes, and when she gets it rolling, she can really be effective, so could come into play for that make it rain point that you make, Rich. Xavier wins the tip. Xavier in its home whites, Butler in the road blacks, trimmed in the white. Ariana Townsend for the Musketeers. Inside for Ariana Gray as it taken away. Catherine Strong, big time on the blocks.
Kurt Godlewski talked to us about the high-low action that Mel Moore's like to run with this Xavier team, something new for this team, and we see that right off the bat. Butler defends it well.
Catherine Strong coming back from a knee injury last season. Happened late in the season in the second matchup with Marquette as you get the first foul of the ball game on the baseline. It's going to go against Ariana Townsend, her first for the Musketeers.
Cat Strong is an extremely important player to this Butler team. You know, when she went out last season, really is the end of January, you know, Butler really started to struggle a little bit as they were making their attempt to make an NCAA tournament bid, fell up just a little short, making the WNIT, but it was a big reason why. Cat Strong was a key player for them.
Got a good look at one of the Butler newcomers, Ulu Toure, at the free throw line. A guard of 5'11" freshman from Kennewick, Washington. 8 points, 5 rebounds. She had a 14-point game against Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. 77% from the line for the season, but missed those 2. So still scoreless early. Shot up from Sharps is no good. Ariana Gray doing what she does. Cleans it up in the left block and knocks it home for a Xavier lead.
Yeah, Ariana Gray just looks a lot more healthy than she did in the non-conference play. You see it there.
That's Toure out front at the point. Pull up there for Catherine Strong. That ball off the rim. Morgan Sharps collects the rebound for Xavier. Xavier also without the services of T. Owens. Fantastic point guard last season for the Musketeers. Tough inside, could take shots off contact. Played 6 games this season and had to shut it down due to injury as Ariana Gray has that ball taken away. knocked off her knee. Musketeers will keep it in the offensive zone.
You mentioned T. Owens. I think this team's got way more than one win. I think if T. Owens is healthy, you know, she was a senior. She could do a lot of things, could guard the other team's best perimeter player. She could score it. She could handle the ball. Really big loss for Mel Moore's team. Unfortunate situation with her injury.
Called that last ball off Gray, actually, so the first turnover of the afternoon for Xavier. Musketeers average about 18 turnovers a ball game. There's Spolier going strong to the block. Got that one over Wasselson.
Kristen Spolier scored 3,000 points in high school, and to score that many points, you got to be able to do it in a variety of ways, and that's one of them right there, posting up Lauren Wasselson.
Spolier getting used to taking the leadership role. Tori Schickel, Michelle Weaver, a great defender last season. Schickel, the great scorer, and then Whitney Jennings is actually an assistant coach this season. Ariana Gray takes the three and knocks it down. Gray's dialed it in from three, a little bit better in the past couple of games. She's just 25% out there.
Got that moon ball working.
First 5 minutes is going to be important for both teams, as Kurt Godlewski said yesterday. There's a little foul inside there on Catherine Thomas. We'll get to the line. Sarah Leyendecker enters for the Musketeers. Ina Caceres enters for the Butler Bulldogs. Caceres playing with a little bit of a black eye. You see the bandage over her right eye. She got a knee to the head in the Seton Hall game. Took some heavy contact and a little bit bruised up, but back out there for Kurt Godlewski this afternoon. And here's Catherine Strong.
You mentioned Caceres. When she went out, that's really, you know, Butler had a 15-point lead in that fourth quarter against Seton Hall. Seton Hall came back and won that game, and Caceres' injury might have played a factor in that a little bit.
Upe Atuso enters, a 5'9" junior from Edo State, Nigeria. Comes from LaBelle Community College. She brings 8 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist to the table. Also, you see Genesis Parker out there. Parker was a transfer from Virginia Tech to Cincinnati and now to Butler. There's a three for Wasselson. That ball won't go, and a rebound off for Shea Bry. Bry, a grinder in the post for the Bulldogs. In transition for Spolier off the glass and good.
Great finish by Spolier. Again, off that left block, this time in transition. You've got to be really physical with her in order to get her off balance. I thought St. John's did a really nice job of that.
That three is up and good, and that's Morgan Sharps, the freshman, getting rolling.
You mentioned a couple big games that Morgan Sharps has had, Mike, and you know, without Carrie Gross, you expect for Sharps to get some more of those minutes tonight. A little bit different player. Sharps is going to be more of a spot-up three-point shooter, where Gross is going to attack the basket off the dribble.
Spolier trying to answer, and Ariana Gray comes up with that rebound, short off the rim. Wasselson fires. Rebound for Spolier. And a travel for Spolier. A little mix-up there is Spolier was trying to release that ball to Caceres. A little bit of a miscommunication there, and that's for Kristen Spolier this year, trying to take over that leadership role.
See Sharps get her feet set there. Outstanding shooter.
Ariana Gray dances into the lane. Shot no good. Leyendecker the rebound. Put back well off balance, and Kristen Spolier off and running. Good drive and left short there by Atuso. Rebound came off, and a shot in the center lane. Good for the Bulldogs, and we are tied at 8. As Caceres with the shot. 3 away again. And that's Morgan Sharps with 2 early for the Musketeers.
Butler's got to find her. That's her game right there. We got to run her off the line. She's made a lot more three-pointers this season than she has two-pointers.
So Sharp starting to settle into her freshman season. A little bit more comfortable out there. But will be asked to share the point with Aaliyah Dunham. Ball inside. Spolier takes some contact, got it to the rim. She'll go to the free throw line. Fouls piling up here for the Musketeers early. Catherine Strong back in. Deja Ross going to come in for the Musketeers to replace Lauren Wasselson. And Spolier to the free throw line.
One thing that, as her offensive production has increased out of necessity, Kristen Spolier has been able to get to the free throw line a lot more. She's really good at using her body. She's physical, can create that contact, and has gotten there quite frequently here in this season.
She's 78% from the line, averages 18 points a game. Last year, took the second most field goals for the Bulldogs. At 4'11", Whitney Jennings had 433, and Tori Schickel inside 330. Ross overshoots Ariana Gray in a turnover for the Musketeers.
Ill-advised. Ariana Gray was covered well off that cut. Deja Ross threw it away.
Third turnover for Xavier. Get a good look there. And Melanie Moore, former associate head coach with Kim Barnes-Rico at Michigan. Ball goes inside for Catherine Strong one more time, and she draws another foul and will get to the line.
Yeah, this is just good execution by Butler. Cat Strong on the roll to the basket, and Ariana Gray was maybe one step too late coming over to help.
Strong's a 52% free throw shooter. Can't connect on that first. She was 2 for 2 at the line in her first trip. Catherine Strong went down late in that season. Everybody thought Bulldogs were going to have some trouble down the stretch. They make it all the way to the Sweet 16 in the WNIT. Lost there to the Cincinnati Bearcats. So great season for Kurt Godlewski with the 23 victories. Ball goes inside for Sarah Leyendecker. Shot no good. Gray going back up and had that one stripped by Genesis Parker.
Sarah Leyendecker has really improved throughout this season. We've seen she had a big weekend last weekend, and as she gets stronger, she's going to improve throughout her career.
Scrappy play there for Nida Caceres, and Butler's going to keep it off contact out of bounds.
Well, we've seen here early on Morgan Sharps getting the start. The Sharps shooter has taken advantage.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
I'm from Chicago,
Cleveland,
Phoenix, Milwaukee,
Hartford,
Colorado, Oklahoma,
Thailand,
Norway, Cameroon.
and I chose
Xavier University.
for business, chemical science,
Occupational therapy.
philosophy, politics, and the public.
Computer science.
Because it felt like home.
I knew I would be welcome.
because they take care of veterans.
I felt connected to the campus, to the people.
The sports.
I came here to be a Musketeer,
And now,
I am.
I am.
All for one.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Mike Schmaltz alongside the voluminous basketball mind of Rich Hoyt, back with you at Cintas Center, Big East Digital Network, and women's basketball. A tight one between the Xavier Musketeers and Butler Bulldogs. And Godlewski thought the first 5 minutes was going to be important for both teams today. Xavier may be lacking a little confidence. Has it right now with a 1-point lead and a couple of threes from Morgan Sharps.
No, Xavier's played like they came here to win the basketball game today. They hold that 1-point lead. Got to take care of the basketball a little bit better. They have put Butler at the line 8 times in the first 5 minutes, but Kurt Godlewski correct. Butler got off to great starts last weekend against St. John's especially, and then they led by 8 at the end of the first quarter to Seton Hall, and he thought they needed to have that same kind of effort to start the game, and we're pretty neck and neck right now at this point, but Xavier right there.
Butler was 1 for 11 in the third quarter against St. John's in the loss, and lost a 15-point lead to Seton Hall, which stormed back in the fourth quarter to take a final minute victory in the first round of Big East play. So Butler trying to rebound here today, and Kurt Godlewski said, this Xavier team, one of the more dangerous one-victory teams in the country. They've got all the pieces, and said he reminded him of his Bulldogs a couple of years ago when Whitney Jennings had transferred in, and they were trying to build some chemistry between her and Tori Schickel in the post. Good rebound there for the Butler Bulldogs and Umu Toure to keep it alive. This is India Fly out front, a 5'8" junior. Kurt Godlewski's on a transfer route this season. A couple of good recruits. That's a good lay-in there by Umu Toure.
But you got to credit Kristen Spolier, too, with finding Toure over there on that opposite block. See a little pressure from Butler.
Leyendecker out of traffic. Morgan Sharps with a good dump in there for Gray. Took on a double team. That ball was knocked out of there by Toure. Catherine Strong in transition and off for Spolier. Took an extra step. That'll give the ball back to the Musketeers. Courtney Prenger going to check in for Xavier, one of the freshmen here for the Musketeers, along with Ashley Gomez.
Kurt Godlewski hinted to us that we might see some pressure out of Butler today against Xavier, tried to force them over a little bit. Both teams have had tendencies to turn the ball over. Both of them average about 17.9 on the year. I'd be interested to see if Melanie Moore has the same idea.
Kurt Godlewski maybe trying to create a little doubt with the Musketeers early on in this ball game, get them back in their heels and maybe get them out of this game a little bit mentally. So far, so good for Melanie Moore and Xavier. Here's Leyendecker out of traffic for Gomez. 3 to shoot for Dunham. Drives it in, got the contact. And they will call the foul there on Shea Bry. Tough foul as that shot clock winding down.
See, with that shot clock winding down, a little contact there. Spolier. Aaliyah Dunham knew she had to make something happen there.
Dunham 58% from the line. Musketeers last in the Big East in free throw percentage coming into today. It has not been that pretty. 65% for the season, but a little better than Big East play. It's up to 74% as Dunham connects to tie us up.
They gave that foul to Bry. I really thought it was Spolier that made the contact there. See some zone out of Xavier.
That was the first foul for Butler. 4 so far for the Musketeers, so a chance for Butler to get to the line here in the waning moments of this first quarter. Cat Strong inside. Bry kicks out. Spolier thought about a 3. Good close out there for Gomez. 3 here for Fly, and that's up and good. Good answer for the Bulldogs. Fly connects at a 0 for 4 pace to start today from three-point range. Her first 3 of the season.
Fly transfer out of Northwest Tech. Played her freshman season at New Mexico. Mike Bradbury there started 32 out of 35 games, so you know she can play.
Ball goes out of bounds. That is off the Butler Bulldogs. Musketeers will keep it. As Caceres and Genesis Parker return. Now you see Kurt Godlewski coming off that 23-10 season. He was the Big East Coach of the Year last year. 11-7 in Big East play. And third, opened the season with a 16-2 record and a 9-game victory streak. Then ran into that injury with Catherine Thomas and was able to pilot them all the way to the Sweet 16 in the WNIT.
Kurt Godlewski has done a terrific job at Butler. I grew up in Indianapolis, and that Butler program really was unheard of as a charge taken there by Courtney Prenger. But Godlewski, 23 wins last season, flirted with the NCAA tournament. We see here Prenger come over, right spot, right time, gets the charge.
First foul on Spolier, second for the Bulldogs here with 2:25 to go in the first quarter. Leah Dunham with a little runner, too strong. Caceres got a hand on a rebound. That was enough to get it over to Spolier. Fly on the far side, back for Parker. Skip pass for Caceres. Now a good matchup here for the Butler Bulldogs, and Catherine Strong takes advantage, just turns right on the freshman and lays it in.
Well, her name is appropriate. Cat Strong is strong down there on the block, and you know she's really just recovering from her injury as Lauren Wasselson knocks down another 3 for Xavier.
4th tie in the afternoon on a Wasselson 3.
Melanie Moore sticking with that 3-2 zone. Sticking Ari Gray at the top to use her length.
They're Strong going to try a 3. That one well off the mark. Prenger out with a rebound for Xavier and up for Leah Dunham. Good look for Gomez. Good three-point range as well. That ball off the front of the rim. Strong collects. Strong right through the Musketeer defense and couldn't finish, and Ariana Gray cleans it up. Wasselson's pass, great play in the passing lane by Genesis Parker. They lost it. Gray almost regained, and now Spolier will collect.
Get an action-packed first quarter here.
Parker slows it down. Strong into traffic for Caceres. Held ball there. Ariana Gray. Butler keeps it with the arrow. Leyendecker, Morgan Sharps back in. Upea Tuso back in for the Butler Bulldogs, along with Umu Chore and Shea Bride. Parker inbounds. Bride leaves it up top. Toure. Out for Parker for three, short. Catch it here, it's a Tuso. Can't get it to go. Toure with a big rebound and put back.
Yeah, Toure is a player that Kurt Godlewski really likes. A big-time scorer in high school out of Washington. Averaging about 7.5 points per game. And rebounded, as you just saw there, too.
Butler +4 in the rebounding column here in the first quarter. Shot clock off. Musketeers will have a chance at the final possession here. Good look inside for Gray. Got the basket and the contact with 2.8 to go. A little poised by the Musketeers at the end of the quarter.
That was a great action off of that. Right before Ari Gray caught that, she set a screen down there on the baseline for Lauren Wasselson, who popped to the corner, and Gray just slipped the screen, got her open.
It's Gray's 9th point, looking for 10 and got it there. He started the day as a 51% free throw shooter. Long shot from the half court by Atuso will end our quarter, but a very competitive one between the Xavier Musketeers and the Butler Bulldogs. Xavier with a 20-19 lead, got it rolling early from Morgan Sharps. And the Bulldogs down one.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're gonna work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Xavier Musketeers with a 1-point lead over the Butler Bulldogs after the first quarter of play here in Cintas Center. Big East Digital Network, Mike Schmaltz and Rich Hoyt with you. Get a good look inside that Xavier huddle and a little bit of optimism after a 1-12 start to this season.
Yeah, and you know the thing I've been impressed with Melanie Moore is I don't understand how you couldn't be frustrated. Nobody likes to lose, and you know Xavier, you know while they're fighting, they just haven't been able to string together many wins. And Mel Moore has remained so positive and upbeat and optimistic, which you know your first year, that's the way to go if you're gonna get the train rolling the direction you want it to.
Melanie Moore, the former associate head coach with the Michigan Wolverines. Transitions down here to Xavier, the 8th head coach in the history of this program. Melanie Moore replaced Brian Neal last season, and get a good look at her. She studies that scoring scene. Had a little chance to do a couple of hits with her on a Mel and Mike show. 3 episodes in, Rich.
That's impressive, too.
Getting some updates there from Coach Mel Moore, and the positivity does translate.
And I didn't realize that you were a bucket getter.
I am a bucket getter in a different way.
All the years I've known you, didn't realize you were a bucket getter. I know she likes bucket getters.
She's big on the bucket getters. Morgan Sharp's one of those today. This is a good look inside. Caceres with a nice touch to the right block for Umu Toure. And Butler back to the lead. Dunham kicks for Sharps. Ari Gray up top. Good skip to the corner for Wasselson. Driving here for Dunham. 5 to shoot. That is Sharp. She's short on that attempt, and Brack comes away with a rebound.
There's not enough movement on offense for Xavier that possession. They had 4 standing around the perimeter and really no opportunity to dribble drive until the late shot clock situation.
Corner for Toure. Good pull up there, and that one's in for Nina Caceres.
Good action down there on the baseline by Butler, freeing up Caceres.
Caceres' 4th point of the afternoon. A little crossover there by Leah Dunham. Ball was knocked away. Musketeers will keep it in the offensive zone as Kristen Spolier comes back in. Ari Gray inbounds up top for Leah Dunham. Gray with a crossover, gains some contact left side of the lane. That'll be a foul against the Butler Bulldogs. Second foul there for Umu Toure.
This is action I really like by Ari Gray attacking the basket. We've seen her settle for jump shots a lot, and that's her game, is attacking the basket, getting to the free throw line.
Gray with 10 points already today. She's 1-on-1 at the free throw line and make it 2-2. And that's a good sign here for Xavier to get into this physical Big East Conference. You're going to have more opportunities at the free throw line, and Gray's going to have to deliver in a clip better than 51% where she started the day. Caceres off with a rebound.
Xavier staying in that 3-2 zone.
Ball inside for Caceres, got some room at the free throw line and knocked it in.
That's good action there by Butler. Kurt Godlewski made some nice adjustments in between quarters, freeing up Caceres along the baseline there on the set, and then more of a continuity that time where Caceres pops to that high post area and she was left open.
Caceres averaged 5 points, 5 rebounds last season. That's right where she is to start today. Hit a couple of nice buckets there. Here's Sharps again for 3. That one a little flat, and a rebound off for Toure. So Butler with one of the larger leads of the afternoon for either team. They're going right back into Caceres, and she traveled this time. Tough turnover there for the Bulldogs. That's their 4th. Toure comes off. Catherine Strong returns there for the Bulldogs. Sharps holds, the Musketeers pushed out to the perimeter by persistent Bulldog defense.
Butler making it difficult to reverse the ball.
Ari Gray in traffic, going to throw one up with 4 on the shot clock, and a rebound off for Caceres. That doubles up the rebound advantage here for the Butler Bulldogs.
Xavier really not getting anything easy.
Catherine Strong has that ball knocked away. Leah Dunham out in front of Genesis Parker. Shot up and good for Leah Dunham in transition. Xavier back within 2.
Just as I say, Xavier's not getting anything easy. Create a little offense off their defense. So Leah Dunham.
Parker controls. That was Butler's 5th turnover. Equals Xavier's total here in the first half. Bry skip pass for Spolier. Good closeout there by Wesselson. Strong to the corner. Shot away there for Caceres. That one well short, and a whistle on the rebound. They're going to call that against Cat Strong. That'll be Strong's first and Butler's second here in the quarter. These are Rocks back on for Morgan Sharps for the Musketeers. These
Butler
are
holding, excuse me, Mike. Butler holding a +7 advantage, rebounding. They've got 6 second chance points to Xavier's 2. Xavier does a nice job keeping Cat Strong off the boards there. Really, that's just a slight difference in the game at this point is those second chance points.
Cross-court pass taken away there by Shea Bry. Bry going to take it right into Strong. Good rebound there by Parker. Got it off the glass and a put back, and will get to the free throw line. Good work there by Genesis Parker.
You see Bry take it strong to the basket. Parker there on that weak side, able to finish it. And you know, Genesis Parker is one of those players that Kurt Godlewski really needs to be that number 2, number 3 option offensively for this team. 2-time transfer, started her career at VCU, played at University of Cincinnati as well.
Completes the three-point play there. She really hasn't been with the program a full year yet. Joined a little bit after Christmas last year. Still figuring out where her athleticism fits into this system, but he likes her build as an athlete. You just look at her and she's an athletic person.
Yeah, physically, she definitely looks the part. She can score as well. When she was at Cincinnati, she had a 31-point game in the WNIT against Michigan State.
Timeout here on the floor with the Butler Bulldogs leading 28-23 over the Xavier Musketeers. Take a quick break and be back with more on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
I'm from Chicago,
Cleveland,
Phoenix, Milwaukee,
Hartford,
Colorado, Oklahoma,
Thailand,
Norway, Cameroon.
and I chose
I chose Xavier University.
for business, chemical science,
Occupational therapy,
philosophy, politics, and the public.
computer science.
because it felt like home.
I knew I would be welcome.
Because they take care of veterans.
I felt connected to the campus, to the people.
The sports.
I came here to be a musketeer,
And now,
And now,
I am.
I am.
I am.
All for one.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Mike Schmaltz, Rich Hoyt back with you on the Big East Digital Network here at Cintas Center. Good one between the Butler Bulldogs and the Xavier Musketeers. Butler with the 5-point lead. You see Kurt Godlewski grinding away there in the huddle. A couple of Bulldogs with 6 points here this afternoon. Ida Caceres and Umu Toure. Toure, a freshman here for the Butler Bulldogs, 5'11", out of Kennewick, Washington. We asked Kurt Godlewski yesterday how he came into finding a player from Washington, not a usual place where you would recruit and find somebody from Butler. He said he had some really big Pac-12 offers early, so people kind of fell off her, and his assistant coach had some connections there with the AAU, worked at Gonzaga for a while, and was able to make those connections and get her over here to the Big East.
Yeah, Torre is a good-looking player. You know, she can stuff the stat sheet, and you mentioned she can score a little bit, rebounds, shoots it pretty well. I think her biggest upside's her defensive ability, but you know, the other freshman in the class, Tinley Dow played the first game of the season, tore her ACL. She had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 steals, and Kurt Galewski said, she was our best player, and they played the international trip in Italy over this summer, and a big loss for them. She was going to be a big contributor to this team, Dow.
Double dribble there against Kristen Spolier, so a turnover out of the timeout for Butler.
That's 4 turnovers against Spolier. Just 5 points. So Xavier doing a nice job against the senior.
Ball inside, taken away by the Bulldogs, and Genesis Parker out with it. Spolier started the day with 46 turnovers. Spolier turns inside in traffic, can't get that one to the rim. Rebound nicely there by Umu Toure. Tuso kicks it out. Spolier calmly knocks in the 3. Extends the Butler lead to 8.
Spolier, you got to get it in her shooting pocket. We've seen Lauren Wasselson get in that shooting pocket frequently today, but not that time. Gave Spolier too much room, too much time.
Wasselson thought about a long 3 corner for Leah Dunham. Wasselson quick trigger there. That one nicks the front of the rim, out of bounds. We talked about the assistant coach who recruited Umu Toure, and that was Gabe Henry. Interesting spot too is the Butler Bulldogs lost an assistant coach. Kiara McCleary resigned on November the 23rd of this season. And Kurt Godlewski looked at his staff and said, what are we going to do? We can't really open up a national search. So they called on Whitney Jennings, who was the leading scorer for the team last year. She came out of an insurance position she had after graduation, and now onto the Butler coaching bench as an assistant here.
And I bet if he used her as a practice player, she'd still be the best player on the floor. Whitney Jennings could flat out score.
Shots up good for 2 for Ariana Gray to get the Musketeers back within 6. And Gray having a nice afternoon, the leading scorer in the game with 13. She's 5 and 9 from the floor.
Xavier gets some good ball movement that possession.
Good look there for Ashanti Thomas, who brings some big-time size to that front line. Didn't need it there as Umu Toure collects inside and knocks it in. Toure now with 8.
Butler's been able to get the ball inside and score. Without Tori Schickel, big questions on how much Butler was going to be able to score inside this season. They've been pretty effective there today.
Dump down here for Pringer. Going up against Thomas. Kick out there for Dunham. Tried to sell the foul, but Dunham knocks down the 3. And the Musketeers hanging around with the Butler Bulldogs here with 3 minutes to play in the half.
Well, Leah Dunham is the glue for Xavier. She can knock down that 3, 44% this season. She's the one Xavier player that started every game this season.
Butler works it here on the perimeter. Dunham last year, pretty good 3-point shooter for the Musketeers. As that ball goes up from the corner, it's no good. Gray comes down with a rebound and got a little bit of contact. That one against Ashanti Thomas. It'll be the 3rd foul for Butler here in the quarter.
See Pranger with a nice kick. A screen there by Deja Ross to free Aaliyah Dunham. Dunham, a really good shooter out there. Just gets enough space.
Dunham 5 for 12 this afternoon. She was 37% from 3-point range last season. Sharp size one up. Hit too early and knocks down another. So, Rich, you wanted to see a few more 3s today out of the Xavier Musketeers, and they have answered the call for you.
Yeah, they just, it's just an odd statistic. They're shooting better from 3 than they are from 2. It really goes to show that they've had a lack of an inside presence throughout the year, and it's a product of the game of basketball today. You don't have the mid-range game like you used to, so you got more 3-point shots, and Xavier knocking them in today.
Thomas blocked there by Pringer. Deflection off for Ariana Gray, and a good flick from behind there by Catherine Strong. Bry kicks back in for a Strong. Nice transition, and there you see a little veteran continuity between Shea Bry and Catherine Strong at a break.
Well, that's a product of Xavier not protecting the basket, and a big reason Deja Ross had Kristen Spolier on that backside And she didn't want to help too much because it would have left Spolier open for a three.
Gray with a ball fake, spins into contact, and that ball off the side of the rim. Good closeout there by Catherine Strong and the help. Bry finds Spolier. She's triple teamed and just tried to throw one up and traveled. Spolier's had a rough go of it inside today.
Yeah, you've really got to credit Xavier for the defense that they have shown Spolier, and credit Butler for some of the other players stepping up. You've had some pretty balanced scoring with Torre also with 8 points, as does Spolier, and then Cat Strong with 7. Caceres has added 6, so good first halves for the Bulldogs.
We got a good look at that banged up eye there for Naida Caceres. She comes from Spain, transferred in from University of Maine. Gray trying to work her way out of a double team, finds Pringer. Musketeers have 2 to shoot. Gray gonna pull up, and that one well short. Shot clock violation, turnover for the Musketeers. Here's an example of just the little lull that could start the avalanche for the Musketeers. Xavier's disappeared in a couple of quarters this season. 36 seconds, however, to play in this first half. Bry going inside, had that ball knocked away. Ross came up with it on the floor, and a whistle goes against the Bulldogs. Naida Caceres picks up her first foul. 4th for the team here in the corner. Get a good look there at Deja Ross, and Ross could be somewhat of a sleeping giant offensively. Really hasn't gotten it going here this season. 3 points, 4 rebounds, but did have a big 22-point game to start last year.
First to the floor wins, and Deja Ross was the first to the floor that particular play and created a foul off of it.
They're doing a great job defensively for the Musketeers. Melody Moore likes to put together something in practice called the X points, and you get the hustle points for taking the charges, and Deja Ross has been up there all season. Here's Wasselson. Time expiring here in the second quarter. Wasselson got contact on the baseline. No call. Ball goes out of bounds, and that will end our first half. The Butler Bulldogs in a good fight here with the Xavier Musketeers. Butler leads it 35-31. Kurt Godlewski coming off a 23 victory season last year in a fight here early as Aaliyah Dunham connects from distance for the Musketeers, and Morgan Sharps, the freshman, got it rolling early and knocked it in late. And the Musketeers down 4 here at the break.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together, and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room, people, for victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Back in the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi, the Butler Bulldogs with a 35-31 lead over the Xavier Musketeers here at the half. Big East Fast Break is the weekly women's basketball show hosted by Megan Caffrey and Ashley Leotis, breaking down everything in Big East women's hoops. You can catch all new episodes of Fast Break during the season every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. on Big East Twitter and YouTube pages. On this week's episode, Megan was joined by reigning Player of the Week, Jalen Agnew from the Creighton Blue Jays.
Now, welcome into Big East Fast Break. Creighton senior forward and the Big East Player of the Week, Jalen Agnew. Jalen, your team is off to a 2-0 start in Big East play, and you won both of those games on the road. How crucial is it to get road victories right at the start of conference play?
Yeah, it's very crucial. This season in the Big East is going to be very competitive, and so we knew we had to start out strong, and so getting those 2 road victories were a good stepping stone for hopefully the rest of the season.
In your most recent game, in your win over Villanova, you scored 31 points. That's the second time this season that you've had a game where you scored at least 30 or more points. When you get into such an offensive rhythm, how would you describe that?
I don't know. It's you kind of can't tell at first. Then all your teammates are hyping you up, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I should just keep going. And so yeah, it just is really cool. And like I said, my teammates always hype me up, and so it's fun like hearing from them that you're doing well. And so yeah, so it's been fun.
How were your teammates able to hype you up in your game against Georgetown, where you didn't score the bulk of your points until the second half, where you had 20 of your 23 points?
Yeah, they told me to stay aggressive, them and the coaches. Especially from the coaching staff, they're like, sometimes we need you to be the one to start our offense, get our offense going. And so just to use that in kind of like an unselfish way, and like when I start to get going, that hopefully everyone else starts to get going as well.
I remember talking to your head coach, Jim Flannery, back at Big East Media Day, and he was saying one of his hopes for you this season is to just have fun. We're 2 games into the conference season, but you've had a lot of basketball that you've played so far. How much fun are you having?
A lot of fun. This is a super fun group. Actually, we started this new thing this year, and so I don't know if you know about the Chicago Bears and how they have their club dub thing after they win, and we kind of started doing our own version of that. And so after every win, we have like lights, and we turn the lights off, and we have our own like strobe lights type thing, and we play music, and we like dance after every win. So that's kind of been super fun to just enjoy every win, especially like we've had a couple ugly ones, like Flan has said. And so just to, wins are hard to come by, and so to get those wins and just enjoy it and keep that going.
Whose idea was it to start that?
Actually Olivia Elgers, because she's from Chicago, and so she knew all about that, and so she's like, I think it'd be a super fun thing to do. So she took it to the coaches, and they thought it was awesome, and so we've been doing that so far, and it's been super fun.
Jalen, you're one of 3 seniors on the team this season. You also lead your team in scoring. How would you describe your leadership and your ability to really, when all of your teammates are relying on you?
Yeah, our coaches talked to me about being more of a vocal leader, and I'm not so great at that. I like to lead more by action, kind of. And so I think that's where I've done better at. It would be the action and kind of, Olivia's great at the vocal lead, and so is Temi. And so they kind of take that side of it, and I'm more of like the leading by action type thing. And so that's kind of where I kind of started with my leadership, I would say.
I love that, Jalen. Thank you very much for joining me, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right, we got to be all in, all right? We got to make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's break it. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah! That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Mike Schmaltz, Rich Hoyt back with you on the Big East Digital. Okay. Mike Schmaltz and Rich Hoyt back with you on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. Good one here between the Butler Bulldogs and the Xavier Musketeers, 35-31. The Butler lead at the break. And to script, the Musketeers being led by Ariana Gray, the leading scorer in the game with 13 points, shoot better from three-point range than they are from the floor, and almost as good as Butler is from the floor at 48%.
Yeah, well, both teams, they're getting it done at the offensive end, but they're doing it in different ways. Xavier is shooting well from outside the three-point arc this afternoon. Butler, conversely, has scored inside. They got 20 points in the paint. They've also scored 15 off of turnovers.
A couple of 8-point games for the Butler Bulldogs. Kristen Spolier with 8, along with Umu Toure with 8, and then 7 from Catherine Strong. And Butler got it going in transition. And as you see Spolier getting to the rim there for the Butler Bulldogs early.
Yeah, the little bit of damage that Spolier has done, she's done it inside. There's 2 quick baskets there early on.
She's 3 of 5 from the floor. Maddie Caceres having a good afternoon as well with 6 points on 3 of 5 shooting.
Yeah, Caceres found a couple open spots in that zone early on. There's Parker with the finish.
And the Musketeers working on the efforts of Ari Gray here this afternoon, but a good start here for the Musketeers from Morgan Sharps, the freshman. Morgan Sharp so far this afternoon is 3 of 6 from the floor, all from three-point range, but really got Xavier some confidence early.
Yeah, Morgan Sharps really can spread the defense a little bit, can knock down that shot, give Xavier some offensive consistency, and Ari Gray has been Xavier's best player the last 2 years, doing it again today, 13 points.
Musketeers 39% from the floor, 46% from three-point range with 6 threes.
You see Ari Gray stretching the defense there along the baseline.
Musketeers trailing the Butler Bulldogs 35-31. Back with more in a moment on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
I'm from Chicago, Cleveland,
Phoenix, Milwaukee,
Hartford,
Colorado, Oklahoma,
Thailand, Norway, Cameroon.
And I chose
Xavier University.
for business, chemical science,
occupational therapy,
philosophy, politics, and the public.
Computer science.
Because it felt like home.
I knew I would be welcome.
Because they take care of veterans.
I felt connected to the campus, to the people.
The sports.
I came here to be a musketeer. And now, I am.
I am. All for one.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
The basketball world learned some tough news this week as the basketball world loses a Titan. NBA Commissioner Emeritus David Stern passed away at the age of 77 on Wednesday. During Stern's legendary run as the commissioner of the NBA, he helped found the WNBA with Big East Commissioner Val Ackerman, who served as the league's first president.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
I'm from Chicago, Cleveland,
Phoenix, Milwaukee,
Hartford,
Colorado, Oklahoma,
Thailand, Norway, Cameroon.
And I chose
Xavier University.
for business, chemical science,
occupational therapy,
philosophy, politics, and the public.
Computer science.
Because it felt like home.
I knew I would be welcome.
Because they take care of veterans.
I felt connected to the campus, to the people.
The sports.
I came here to be a musketeer. And now, I am.
I am.
I am.
All for one.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's break it.
1, 2, 3.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Mike Schmaltz and Rich Hoyt back with you at Cintas Center on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. The Butler Bulldogs on the road here to end this road trip for their season early, and they lead the Xavier Musketeers 35-31. Some good balance in the scoring column for Butler here this afternoon. It's 8 points from Umu Toure and 8 points from Kristen Spolier.
Yeah, Kristen Spolier really hasn't gotten too comfortable, though, for Butler. Credit Xavier for that. Spolier has 5 turnovers in the game, and if I'm Kurt Godlewski, one of the things that I'm doing at halftime is trying to find my leading scorer, one of the best scorers in the conference, opportunities to score the ball a little bit more, to get her more comfortable, get her maybe some open looks at the basket. You know, conversely, if you're Xavier, you know, you got 10 turnovers that have been created into 12, they have been created 15 points off turnovers for Butler, so that's something that Moore's got to correct as well. Butler's completely dominated in the paint, 20 points in the paint in that first half of play, and they dominated on the boards as well. +9 on the boards was Butler.
Musketeers were 6 of 13 from three-point range. Ariana Gray was 1 of 1 from behind the arc, but 5 of 11 in the lane, and has 13 points to lead Xavier, and that's right where she is, but needs a little bit more help. Morgan Sharps with 3 threes has 9, and then it's 6 points from Aaliyah Dunham and 3 from Lauren Wasselson.
Yeah, we see here as we start second half play, Deja Ross being carried off. She must have, looks like maybe did something to that ankle during warm-ups for the second half, so Deja Ross going to get taken off.
See her heavily favoring that right leg. She's carried into the tunnel. And odd to have it happen during a warm-up, but Musketeers down a player here to start the second half, and down 4 to the Butler Bulldogs, who start off with possession. Shot up short from the right side, and the ball will be whistled back to the Musketeers. Get a look there at Ariana Gray, and we're trying to get a look at what happened to Deja Ross. Just got tangled up there with Gray. Gray didn't really clear on the layup line, and Ross looks like she took a little hit to the knee there. This is a quick timeout here early in our second half. 9:40 to go in the third quarter. Butler Bulldogs still leading 35-31. Back after this.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're gonna work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Sean. 1, 2, 3.
Together.
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Mike Schmaltz-Detroit back with you on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. Carry a start here to our second half. Butler with a 35-31 lead over the Xavier Musketeers. Saw an injury to the Musketeers, Deja Ross, in the warm-up, and then a quick timeout here from Melanie Moore.
Well, you had Butler trapping as they early on extend some full court pressure, which we saw a little bit of, early on in the game, and Xavier really didn't have any problem with that at all. We haven't seen Kurt Godlewski go back to it much, but he does here to start the second half, and Aaliyah Dunham was trapped right away, and Mel Moore wants a timeout, and Xavier's going to talk about things and get themselves organized.
So Xavier 1-12 on the campaign. The only victory on the season was the season opener back on November the 7th. So you're within 4 for the good Butler team. Why not take that time out and try to reset yourself here before Butler gets some easy points?
Does leave just 2 timeouts left for Mel Moore throughout the rest of the afternoon. 1-2-2 pressure. They're going to try to extend pressure Aaliyah Dunham.
Good pass there from Gray that led Dunham to the far court. Dunham tries to pass out of pressure, and Butler forces the turnover. Spolier, nice feed from Genesis Parker, and that was a steal there from Bry that got that going, but a good trap on the sideline forced the error. Here's Sharps trying to get rolling again from 3. That ball long, and Spolier down with a rebound.
That big stretch right there by Butler.
Spolier's third board of the day. Butler leads that category 21-13. Good roll here for Spolier. She can't finish. Rebound comes down for Ariana Gray. Butler well aware of the Musketeers shooting well from three-point range, closing out a little quicker here, and Sharps disrupted. That ball went off. Catherine Strong and out of bounds.
I would have to guess that Kurt Godlewski, if Butler can continue to score, will continue to show that pressure, extend on Aaliyah Dunham, make things difficult for her. The one time Xavier was able to get it down the floor with Dunham, he didn't have anybody to reverse the ball to that was close enough, and that's why Dunham threw it away. Nice halftime adjustment by Kurt Godlewski.
And Wasselson to the baseline. She's cut off. Back for Ariana Gray. Got a little room for a runner. That one caught the left side of the rim. No good. Ayanna Townsend with a putback. That one long, but she gains contact and will get to the free throw line.
Ayanna Townsend is somebody that we've seen have some ability to make some things happen inside. Big, strong player, sophomore. Gets fouled there after the offensive rebound, an area that Butler really dominated in the first half.
Kurt Godlewski talked about the pieces that the Musketeers can put together, and this is one of them. Really thought a lot of Townsend coming out of high school was limited last season due to an injury. Townsend really never got going, played 7 games a season ago. She knocks in the free throws to get the Musketeers back within 4.
Yeah, we saw in her debut last year as a college freshman, 15 points, 8 rebounds, and something that she hasn't been able to replicate since then.
Ball to the corner, and Spoyer, another turnover. Spoyer having a tough afternoon as the Musketeers starting to close out on her quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They closed out quick. They closed out long on her. They wanted to make her put it on the floor. She's good at putting it on the floor, but you've got to take her three-point shot away first.
Leah Dunham in trouble on the baseline and tied up there by Spoyer, and that ball will stay with the Musketeers on the possession arrow.
I almost wonder whether Kurt Godlewski's adjustment is let's trap Aaliyah Dunham wherever we can. You know, Aaliyah's a smaller player, and a short corner is a good area to trap. They got the trap there.
Ariana Gray off the feed from Sharps. Gray got some contact. Good look here for Wasselson, and she knocks it home. Lauren Wasselson for three, and the Musketeers within one.
Xavier fights back. Butler with a little momentum to start the second half, and that's what a three-pointer can do.
Wasselson's second three of the ball game. She's 2 of 5 from behind the arc. Good look inside. Bry got position, gave it up for Strong, who lost control. Now for Spoyer. Shot from the free throw line, and a foul going against Ayanna Townsend.
You see the ball movement by Xavier, the kick out there by Ariana Gray, and Lauren Wasselson doing what she does best, knock down three-point shots.
And there you saw the challenge for Ayanna Townsend. That's her third foul. She's played in 11 ball games this season, counting today, and she's fouled out of 5 of them.
It's making the most of your fouls.
Well, they did tell her to go in there and give it all you can, and she's done that. You got to stay on the floor to be effective.
If I would have had enough playing time in my days, I probably would have done that more often. I'd have been in that Ayanna Townsend category.
3-point game, and the Musketeers control here with Aaliyah Dunham.
No pressure that time by Butler. Interesting.
Gray going one-on-one with Spoyer, and contact, I believe, before the shot. That ball on the floor. Foul called by Tom Danaher there on the wing. He's out there with Brian Interline and Crystal Appelinas today.
It's almost like Ariana Gray has said, Butler, you don't have anybody big enough or quick enough to guard me, so she has been much more aggressive attacking the basket, particularly here in the second half.
And that is where the Butler Bulldogs missed Tori Schickel from a season ago. Big post presence, and Kurt Godlewski said she really erased a lot of the mistakes we made defensively.
And Kurt Godlewski is telling his team right now to back up on Gray, make her shoot that jump shot.
Musketeers will inbound here with 20 to shoot. Wasselson will trigger. Out for Leah Dunham, and they put Bry on her this time. Five to shoot. Dunham makes some space. Shot too strong, and Bry with some great position on Townsend.
And I thought Caceres, I think it was, who got a hand up there on Dunham, adjusted that shot.
Bry to the block, gets Caceres collecting, saving a turnover for the moment. Good battle here with Caceres and Townsend, and they leak one inside. Good job by Atuso to dig that off the baseline and knock it in. Butler able to get the lead back to 5. Xavier so far 1 for 4 from the floor here in the third quarter. Bulldogs are 2 for 4. Gray trying to change that for the Musketeers. Ball rattles off the glass, and Bry comes up with another rebound.
Shea Bry is not going to wow you with a lot of offensive ability, but she is as fundamental as it gets. We've seen the last couple rebounds. Xavier's had no chance with her boxing out.
It's Bry's third rebounders. Caceres a good mid-range from the baseline.
Yeah, we've seen that shot out of Caceres a few times today. She's having a really nice game. Been efficient, 4 for 6 from the field.
Xavier tries to counter.
He's got to look in. Townsend's got size advantage.
Ariana Gray launches the 3 and connects.
Gray playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Butler works back in its half court. Caceres good, turn there on Townsend, a nice reverse, and the shot won't go, unrewarded.
Good move.
Gray slides away with a rebound for Xavier. And Leah Dunham back to the controls with Morgan Sharps. Whistle away from the basketball. And I think they're going to get Shea Bry here.
I think it was a Tuso.
They get a Tuso.
Had Townsend coming over to that left block, and Tuso held her, preventing her from getting there.
It's a Tuso's first and a fourth for the Butler Bulldogs. So substitutions on both sides. Courtney Pringer, Sarah Leyendecker, Lauren Wasselson, Morgan Sharps out for the Musketeers, along with Ashley Gomez, who just turned it over. This is Caceres on the run, and she turned right on Sharps and lays it in. Easy two there for the Bulldogs off the turnover.
Well, you got to get somebody open off the out-of-bounds play, and Xavier didn't do that.
Torrey's out there with Strong, Caceres, Atuso. And in Diafly. Sharps left over and on the overplay by Caceres. Ball is loose on the baseline, and Gomez touched it last there for the Musketeers. 4:45 to go here in our third quarter, and it's still tight between the Butler Bulldogs and Xavier Musketeers.
Yeah, we got Caceres with 2 for the Bulldogs and Ariana Gray with 3, keeping the Musketeers in it. Bulldogs by 6 here at the Cintas Center.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
I'm from Chicago.
Cleveland.
Phoenix, Milwaukee,
Hartford.
Colorado, Oklahoma,
Thailand, Norway, Cameroon.
and I chose
I chose Xavier University.
For business, chemical science,
Occupational therapy.
philosophy, politics, and the public.
Computer science.
Because it felt like home.
I knew I would be welcome.
Because they take care of veterans.
I felt connected to the campus.
To the people.
The sports.
I came here to be a musketeer. And now,
And now,
I am.
I am.
I am.
All for one.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Mike Schmaltz, Detroit, back with you on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. Women's basketball this afternoon from Xavier University, and Xavier trailing the Butler Bulldogs 45-39, 5 ties, 5 lead changes. Butler's largest lead was 8 with 4:54 to go in the second quarter.
Well, you look at the numbers, Mike. We talked about how Xavier throughout the season has been better from beyond the three-point line than inside the three-point line, and today's a great example of that. Xavier 8 for 16 from the three-point line. If you look at just their 2-point field goals, 5 for 19. So it's an enigma. I'd be surprised if anybody else in the country has numbers like that.
Ariana Gray having a great afternoon for the Musketeers, 16 points, and she's 2 rebounds away from her 3rd double-double this season and 19th of her career.
Yeah, she has played extremely well. Ariana Gray really kept Xavier in the game. She's one of those that has shot well from behind the three-point, 2 for 2.
Gray had 13 at the half, and you saw that big connection from three-point range. They get this lead down to 6 for the Bulldogs.
If it wasn't that three-point shot, this game would be advantage Butler by many more.
Atuso on the baseline, kicks out for Caceres, and she delivers again with a jumper.
You know, we saw Kat Strong come in here last year and have a big game for Butler. It seems like Caceres is kind of in that boat this year. She's really given Butler some extra offense.
She's 2 away from a career best. 12 points this afternoon. Sharps has it knocked away by Catherine Strong. Xavier resets with 10 to shoot, however. Ashley Gomez inbounds here for the Musketeers. Leyendecker up top, 3 to shoot. Musketeers in disarray and going to be stolen on the floor. Caceres knocked it away. Ball up for Strong in transition, and she got around Gomez.
I wasn't sure Butler controlled the ball before that fast break occurred.
Gomez looking inside there for Courtney Prenger, and Prenger picks up the foul from Caceres. Caceres is 2nd to 5th for the Bulldogs. 6-0 run here for the Bulldogs as they've hit their last 3 from the floor. That run over a minute 18. Courtney Prenger, the Xavier freshman, trying to get to the line to change all that. She's a 54% free throw shooter for the season. Hit a 10-point game against Cincinnati for her career best. That was on the 14th of December. Prenger really would show some toughness for the Musketeers in the post. Start of the day shooting 40% from the floor. Floated in her first. Second one in and out. I guess Sarah's right there for the rebound, her 6th.
If Xavier is going to get back in this game, they've got to stop turning the ball over. 4 turnovers in the quarter created 8 points for Butler. Butler's taking advantage of those.
Contact inside on a drive there from the Bulldogs. Upe Tuso. Ashley Gomez picked up the foul for Xavier. Xavier's 2nd. Ariana Gray comes back after a quick rest. Prenger will come off.
Now Moore knows how important it is to have Ari Gray in the game right now. It's kind of danger time for Xavier.
Catherine Strong Spolier, a great play to touch back in and fly on the layup in traffic. Picks up contact. A little smile there from Kristen Spolier.
That was unbelievable.
Heads up scoop with a left hand.
See the foul there on the contact, but before that, you saw Kristen Spolier one-handed pass right in front of her bench to keep that ball in bounds.
I don't know if you put a highlight package together for saves, but that would be one.
That was pretty
right there.
good.
So flies at the free throw line. She was 36% to start the day. And now she's 0 for 1. 3 points so far this afternoon. It was a 3-pointer. She's 1 for 1 from the floor. Second one's good. And Butler to its largest lead of the afternoon at 10. You mentioned it, Rich. Danger time here for the Musketeers. This is somewhat at the point of ball games where it starts to get away from Xavier a little bit.
I think Ari Gray needs a touch here.
Patience here. 10 to shoot as Gray holds. Working on Genesis Parker. Gray dumps it inside for Leyendecker. Leyendecker was blocked, regained, put it up and in. Great job by Sarah Leyendecker.
Leyendecker's first basket. And she had an outstanding weekend last weekend. Averaged 14 points, 9.5 rebounds first weekend of Big East play. Made the Big East Weekly Honor Roll.
Big time game against St. John's. 18 points, 13 rebounds. That was her first double-double. Caceres looking for 3. In and out. Rebound for Leah Dunham. Xavier's got the numbers. And Dunham had it poked away from behind by Fly. That thwarted the break. Musketeers came in 4-on-2 there. Had it knocked away.
It was a nice job by Leyendecker to screen, trying to free up Dunham.
Dunham kicks for Wasselson. Good look, quick release. Ball touches the front of the rim, won't go. Gray digs it out, knocks it home, and gets to the free throw line.
Yeah, credit Sarah Leyendecker for keeping that ball alive for Ari Gray as well. We'll see here. Leyendecker got a hand on it. Gray right behind. Get one more look. Right place, right time, Ari Gray, but she happens to do that quite often with her energy and effort. That's why she's the best rebounder in the Big East.
Gray looking for a 19th point. Completes the 3-point play.
A little help from her friend there with Sarah Leyendecker, and we got a 2-possession game again.
Gray 3 of 4 at the free throw line today. Parker back to work for the Bulldogs. Good drive in traffic, shot left short. Gray comes down with the rebound. It'll be a held ball. It'll stay with Butler. And that'll rebound will give Ariana Gray the double-double on the afternoon, her 10th to go along with the 19 points. So Xavier on a 5-0 run here. Almost had a chance to get that ball back. See how Butler responds. Steal there from Gray. Got right into the passing lane. Gray coming in one-on-one. Loses her footing. Whistle against the Bulldogs. And that one's going to go against Shea Bry.
See some contact here. Trip from behind by Bry. Yeah, I really like Morgan Sharps. Really gave great ball pressure to create that steal where Gray came up with it to start that fast break.
So Gray trying to continue a very good afternoon. 3 of 4 at the free throw line. Averaged a double-double last season. So her first was up and in. She was honorable mention all Big East, and you can kind of make the case on a team that struggled that Ariana Gray was the focal point every time out, and almost a little bit harder to gain a double-double when you're the focal point of every defensive effort.
Yeah, absolutely, especially at the offensive end. You know, I think her game is still a little unpolished at the offensive end, and I think she averages 15 points a game just off of her sheer effort, and it's going to continue to get better. Her offensive game will continue to grow.
7-0 run for Xavier in 59 seconds, and a steal here from Leyendecker. Musketeers turning it on here late in the third.
Xavier turned it on, or excuse me, turned it over early on in the third quarter. It's Butler starting to turn it over now.
Sharps saves a high pass. Guarded out there by Strong. Gray working on Parker. Good kick. 3 away for Dunham, won't go. Rebound down for Catherine Strong. That's a look you wanted there for the Musketeers as Ariana Gray drew the double from Spolier. And a good look for Dunham goes away. Spolier inside, lost it again. This time a whistle against Xavier. One's going to go against Sarah Leyendecker. That's Leyendecker's first, and Xavier's fourth here in the quarter with an even minute to go.
I'll say that one was on the floor.
Getting scrappy here between the Bulldogs and the Musketeers. Good drive inside for Catherine Strong. And that's an easy layup, and that'll bust up the Xavier run.
See if Xavier tries to get a 2-for-1 here.
Dunham left all alone and not going to take it. Gomez for Gray. Gray double team. Ball was knocked away there by Umuture. Close to the baseline.
This is a situation now. I talked about 2-for-1 with. I think you got to just get a good shot now if you're Xavier. You don't want to force anything, create something easy for Butler.
Dunham kicks here for Sharps. Quick release for 3, and Morgan Sharps delivers.
Take that one, I'm sure.
Sharps' fourth 3 of the afternoon, 4 for 8.
She's a big-time weapon out there for Xavier. Xavier needs that extra scorers, and Morgan Sharps has provided that.
Musketeers come all the way back from 10 down. Now down by 2. Good drive. Torre has it stripped. Ball inside. Came up for Caceres. Musketeers wanted a travel call, but they got a foul against Sarah Leyendecker, her second.
Not sure if there was any contact here. Let's see.
Strip there from Gray on the first one.
That one should have been a travel call.
So Caceres to the free throw line. This will be her first free throw of the afternoon, working on a 12-point day with 7 rebounds. Lauren Wasselson comes on for Ashley Gomez. Caceres sets. This is the first. 12 points for Caceres today. 12 for Spolier. 11 for Catherine Strong, and in there as well, Umu Torre with a Butler shooting 50% from the floor. The Musketeers just 39%, but making up for it with a 47% performance from behind the arc. The second one was in, and Butler's lead back to 3.
Butler going to extend that pressure here.
Gray launches over for Aaliyah Dunham. That ball strong off the glass as time expires. And Butler going to carry a 53-50 lead into the third quarter. 5 ties, 5 lead changes, and an entertaining one here this afternoon.
Back and forth action here at the Cintas Center. Bulldogs by 3. 10 to go.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, we got to raise it up.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's break it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Mike Schmaltz, Richoid back with you on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. An entertaining one between 2 longtime rivals. The Butler Bulldogs leading the Xavier Musketeers 53-50. Well, Rich, the Musketeers have been effective from 3, and the Butler Bulldogs have been effective from the floor, shooting 50% with 3 double-figure scores as we enter the fourth quarter.
Butler with 30 of their 53 points in the paint, and you look, Christian Spolier just with 12 points. Yeah, she's earned every bit of those 12 points, but Naira Caceres and Kat Strong really have provided some needed punch inside for the Bulldogs. They've combined for 24, and I think Kurt Godlewski would be pleased if he could get 3 double scores every night. 3, ideally 4, but he's got 3 so far today. And for Xavier, Ariana Gray, I think she's got to get a touch just about every possession for Xavier. Seems like good things have happened for Xavier offensively when she gets those touches.
So out for quarter number 4, final 10 minutes between these two. It's been a fun series, and it spans several conferences. Started in the North Star Conference, went to the Midwestern Collegiate Conference, now the Horizon, then the Atlantic 10, and now the Big East. Townsend misses on her first offering of the quarter, and Catherine Strong is down for the Butler Bulldogs. Strong, of course, with the injury well noted in last season
Holding
to
her
the
ankles.
left knee. And then you see the brace on the left knee, and she's favoring, it looks like, possibly the other side as she comes off the court here.
Something buckled there. Not sure what it was, but you hope it doesn't have anything to do with the knee. Just get another look here. Kat Strong so important to this team, and as she was last year important to that Butler team. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they make the NCAA tournament last year if she doesn't get hurt.
Butler back to it. Minus Catherine Strong for the moment. 14 to shoot here for Genesis Parker, covered up by Aaliyah Dunham. Good drive inside, and a kick to Caceres, who continues a great day. 15 points.
She has been terrific.
new career best by 1, had 14 against Eastern Kentucky on November the 17th this season. Ball poked away there by Umuture. Xavier will reset with 13 to shoot. Good look there at Toure, the freshman, all the way from Washington.
We've seen so many possessions today where Butler defensively has not given Xavier opportunities, and Xavier's had to force things late in the shot clock. Looks like this might be another one.
Little relief there for the Musketeers in the backcourt for Leah Dunham. 6 to shoot. Dunham going to pull up for 3. Good look at it. Couldn't get it to fall. Big rebound there for Spolier. She took it away from Lauren Wasselson. But we're going to spread the floor now. Ball inside for Caceres off the glass and good. Ida Caceres, 17 on the afternoon.
That was a great pass from Genesis Parker as well. Good action by Butler, and Caceres has been on point this afternoon for the Bulldogs.
Well, I mentioned that the Bulldogs lost the game late to Seton Hall. Caceres was banged up in that game, and you see the bandage over the eye here this afternoon. And as Kurt Godlewski mentioned yesterday, if Caceres could have stayed in that game, they probably win it. And
Butler with 23 points off of Xavier turnovers today. It's been a big, big reason why the Bulldogs are up 7 here.
Spolier turns on Wasselson. Shot's good, and Kristen Spolier goes to the free throw line.
Big time take by Kristen Spolier. Just a knack for scoring the basketball. We'll see it here. Nice spin on Lauren Wasselson, and mentioned Kristen Spolier, very strong, able to finish it at the rim.
It's one of the big time traits there for Kristen Spolier. Physical, able to take the contact and convert.
I mentioned, you know, she was a big time scorer in high school. Lebanon High School, home of Rick Mountain, the first high school athlete ever on the cover of Sports Illustrated. But you know, she finished 3rd all-time in Indiana high school history in scoring, did Spolier, but she did not win Miss Basketball. That was because the all-time leading scorer was in her same class. That was Jackie Young from Notre Dame, now in the WNBA.
It's a tough draw.
That's a pretty good year.
Xavier's 17th turnover, and Caceres converts again.
Butler has just been very productive at the offensive end, taking advantage of Xavier's turnovers.
28 points off turnovers for the Bulldogs here this afternoon, and a lead to its largest of the day at 12. Gomez, quick 3. Got it!
Xavier needed that one.
See how the Bulldogs counter. Atuso inside for Caceres, going right to work on Towns. A good feed for Spolier, and the layup's in.
Great movement without the basketball that time by Spolier.
Critical spot here for both sides as Butler's made the Musketeers very uncomfortable here in this 4th quarter. Reach-in foul there.
That's Spolier's 4th foul. Kurt Godlewski didn't like that one either. It's too far away from the basket, and it's the 4th on Spolier, which is not going to be helpful for the Bulldogs.
Here's good news for Butler as Catherine Strong comes back on. Always get a little nervous after one of those big knee injuries that something gave way, but Strong able to return.
Really good news.
Dunham takes her right to the basket, lays it in. Good quickness there from Aaliyah Dunham.
Yeah, really smart by Xavier to attack Strong off the ball screen there right after she came back in as well.
Dunham has 8 on 3 of 7 shooting. It's one of her more productive games in the last 5. Ball stolen here by Ariana Gray, and then a reach-in foul called in transition. That'll go against Umuture. And Torrey comes up with Butler's 2nd foul and the 3rd for her in the game.
See Dunham attacking the basket, just got around Strong there, who really was no contestant against the ball screen action by Xavier.
It's a good identification of the matchup by Leah Dunham. Knows that Strong a little bit hampered there in the lane. Good dish inside for Gomez, and that's up and in. Ashley Gomez scores inside on a great feed from Courtney Pranger.
Ashley Gomez providing a little offense for Xavier. Give and go action, a back cut by Gomez, using that offhand. Good strong finish. You'll see it from down low. Finishing through the contact. Senior from Oklahoma.
Gomez used to converting three-point plays, but used to doing it from a little bit further out.
Yeah, we've seen her throughout her career. I don't remember an and one opportunity for Ashley Gomez.
She's going to convert here. 71% for the season, and we'll tick that up a little bit. And Xavier making it interesting here. Down 6 to go here in the fourth.
Great move by Parker.
Beautiful dish. Parker for Caceres continues.
Split the ball
to
screen
deliver
action.
in the post.
Split it and just attack the basket. Found Caceres.
Gray inside for Leyendecker, off balance, knocked it off the bottom of the rim. The ball goes out, and they'll say it's off Genesis Parker. And the Musketeers keep it. Little reset here on the baseline. Dunham looking inside for Leyendecker, and traffic lays it in. Leyendecker took a little nudge, able to deliver.
That's good execution off the out-of-bounds play by Xavier.
Parker working back with Shea Bry. Fly for Caceres. Duck in for Caceres goes.
Boy, Caceres has been terrific.
10 of 14 from making 11 of 15 from the floor.
That's 23 points in 24 minutes.
Efficient.
No question.
There's a whistle as Ashley Gomez gets some contact. Brings up a timeout on the floor. Butler Bulldogs hanging on to an 8-point lead over the Xavier Musketeers. Monster afternoon for Nida Caceres for the Butler Bulldogs with 23 points.
I'm from Chicago, Cleveland,
Phoenix, Milwaukee,
Hartford,
Colorado, Oklahoma,
Thailand, Norway, Cameroon.
and I chose
I chose Xavier University.
For business, chemical science,
occupational therapy,
philosophy, politics, and the public.
Computer science.
Because it felt like home.
I knew I would be welcome.
Because they take care of veterans.
I felt connected to the campus.
To the people.
The sports.
I came here to be a Musketeer.
And now,
And now,
I am.
I am.
I am.
All for one.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Mike Schmaltz, Rich Hoyt back with you for women's basketball here in the Big East Digital Network. Joint jumping here between the Butler Bulldogs and the Xavier Musketeers. 8-point lead for the Butler Bulldogs, trying to close out their first Big East victory of the season, but Xavier making it tough here with 4:58 to go.
Well, Butler has just been too efficient at the offensive end here in the fourth quarter. They are 7 for 7 in the fourth quarter of play. And a big reason is Naira Caceres. She has been terrific today. You know, Caceres only had one double-digit scoring game the whole rest of the season. That was a 14-point outing, and she's got 23 this afternoon. Kurt Gajlewski has said, I'm going to go to the Spaniard early and often, and they have done that. She's produced for the Bulldogs.
3 in double figures for the Butler Bulldogs, shooting 57% from the floor. Kristen Spolier with 17. Catherine Strong with 11. And Xavier getting big days from Ariana Gray with 21, a double-double, her third of the season. And Morgan Sharps, 4 threes for the Musketeers. She has 12. Sharps will handle here. Xavier trying to put together a late run. Able to come all the way back from a 10-point deficit in the third quarter. Put a 7-0 run together in a little bit more than a minute. Good drive in here by Leah Dunham. That ball is tipped out by Caceres and collected by the Bulldogs.
Kurt Gajlewski wants his team to settle down. Let's run some offense here. Get a good look. Probably something he drew up. Probably to Caceres. There she is.
Caceres going in on Leyendecker. Turned and couldn't get the shot off.
Mel Moore put Leyendecker on her. Put a little more size.
Ball came out for a fly, and they reset now. Genesis Parker, good stutter step. Parker goes inside, gains contact, and a blocking foul against Morgan Sharps of the Musketeers. Sharps first, Xavier's third of the quarter.
Yeah, I feel like that. Here's the replay. Parker's got another gear getting to the basket. Sharps was definitely moving. I felt like that last possession by Xavier was extremely important. He had a chance to get it back down to a 2-possession game. Couldn't convert. Now Parker's able to extend this with a couple free throws.
He was 1-1 at the line before that shot. 3 points this afternoon for Genesis Parker. Started the day averaging 12. Parker's only taken 3 attempts from the floor. Second one well strong, and the rebound comes down for Leyendecker. Leyendecker is 6'4", and she's used the height to her advantage all afternoon. 4 minutes now for the Musketeers, down 8. Sharps can't get the shot off, going inside for Gray, and Gray picks up the foul. That'll go against Naida Caceres, her third, and Butler's fifth. So now Xavier to the free throw line. Hasn't been pretty for the Musketeers overall this season at the stripe at 65%. But as we mentioned, better in Big East play, where they're 74% through the 2-game stretch. Today, the Musketeers 10 of 13 for 77%.
Big free throws here, too. Again, a chance for Xavier to get it back to that 2-possession game. You know, you hang around there, and, you know, you're going to be within striking distance for the rest of the way.
Gray misses for just the second time this afternoon, now 5 of 7 from the free throw line. Sets for the second, that's up and good.
See Xavier now going to that pressure. I was wondering if we were going to see this at any point. Obviously, it's time to change things up a little bit for Xavier.
7-point Butler lead. Musketeers have forced 12 turnovers today against the Bulldogs. Spolier going to work in the post. Spolier steps through the defense, double team, and knocks it in, and lead back to 9 in a timeout here for the Musketeers.
Well, again, Spolier, we haven't seen her shoot from outside that 3-point arc where she's so good most of the afternoon. Just 2 attempts, 1 for 2 out there, but she is adept inside. Splits a double team there. So strong, gets the finish. You know, she's struggled. Could have been a foul there. She has struggled turning the ball over today with those 7 turnovers, but when she has gotten her shot, she's been efficient, 7 for 10.
Spolier showing some strength in the post, and I'll change that too. Should have been a foul. And we'll correct that timeout. That was actually called by Butler. So Bulldogs will have 3 remaining. Musketeers will have 2.
Kurt Gajlewski, we'll see what he's got up his sleeve defensively. It looks like a little man pressure.
Xavier able to break with Sharps. Dunham works out top. Wasselson, good drive, back inside for Leyendecker, another lay-in.
Good execution by Xavier. It looks like Butler went to switching their all screens that possession. Might have been the adjustment Kurt Godlewski made in addition to the pressure.
Ball across for a Tuso. Inside for Bry, goes to work on Ariana Gray. Gray picks up her second. Third for Xavier here in the corner. Kristen Spolier coming back on for the Bulldogs along with Umu Toure. India fly and Upea Tuso come off. And Genesis Parker triggers here with 20 to shoot. Caceres. Rebound off for Ari Gray.
You know, I thought as well as Caceres has played today, I thought that shot was too early.
Floater for Gray is good. And Xavier within 5.
Now all of a sudden it's a 5-point game. Too quick of a shot by Caceres. You see how poised Butler is here.
Xavier's hit 6 of its last 8.
Trap came too late.
Spolier on Leyendecker. Leyendecker able to get that length and force a bad shot. Rebound came down for Wasselson. A little contact there between Sharps and Spolier. No call. We play on. Gray for 3. Can't connect. Rebound off for Toure. Parker gonna grind some clock here. Butler has 16 to shoot. Bry with room to drive. Good dump to the left, blocking the layups. Good from Umu Toure. And a timeout here for the Butler Bulldogs. Butler gets a lead back to 7 with just some excellent execution.
Yeah, good execution off the ball screen. And they just lose Toure, guard screen, or excuse me, ball screen coverage.
Toure now with 10 on the afternoon. She's 5 of 6 from the floor. The 4th Bulldog into double figures in scoring. Butler shooting 54% this half, 16 of 24, and 57% for the ball game. That is great news for Kurt Godlewski. They came into today shooting 39.9% on the season. So a huge uptick here for the Butler Bulldogs. And they're a minute 48 away from their first conference victory of the season.
Well, what Kurt Godlewski's trying to do with using these 2 timeouts here is offense for defense, in particular with Spolier. He's got Spolier over there on the bench now.
Sharps works out top. Hounded out there by a Tuso. Dunham almost commits a turnover with the over and back. A quick 3 away there for Sharps, no good. Big rebound for Shea Bry.
That's a big stop for Butler. Big stop.
That's the epitome of Shea Bry's game. Right place, right time.
Yep.
Picked up a huge loose ball rebound. That was her 5th. Bry doing all this playing with 4 fouls. Here's a whistle. It's going to go against Aaliyah Dunham. Xavier's 4th of the quarter, Dunham's 3rd. Kristen Spolier coming back on, all along with Umu Toure. Butler trying to deliver the final knockout punch of the afternoon.
Toure's got those 4 fouls as well. That's why you got that offense-defense substitution.
Ball flicked away there by Ariana Gray, and she picks up the whistle. Maybe a little anticipation foul there by Tom Danaher there. Closest to that play, Gray's 3rd. 5th now for the Musketeers, and Genesis Parker back to the free throw line. 1 of 3 there so far this afternoon. India Fly comes back on with Upea Tuso. Caceres and Spolier off. Godlewski managing a little foul trouble here. Parker knocks it up and in. 4 fouls for Toure, 4 for Bry, and 4 for Spolier, and that's why you see the frequent substitutions. This thing would happen to get to overtime. Those are 3 really important pieces for the Bulldogs you want to protect.
Yeah.
Coming up on a minute to go, and Xavier needs points quick. They're going to look for Wasselson. Flat 3, short.
Xavier's been 1 and out here of late.
Sharp's going to foul Genesis Parker again. And now with 53.3 seconds to go, the light getting a little brighter at the end of the Big East victory tunnel here for the Bulldogs. Gomez and Townsend come back out for the Musketeers.
Credit Butler for their execution really at both ends of the floor, particularly at the offensive end. 9 for 11 this quarter. Made their first 7.
Parker connects. This is a good growth game here for the Bulldogs. Kurt Godlewski mentioned yesterday they were looking for a little bit more continuity. Some new faces in that rotation starting to learn each other's trends, and he's going to be happy with how they finish this game. Ball comes down. A timeout here for the Musketeers. Leaves a full, and they will be able to advance it here across midcourt with 52.4 seconds to go. So the Butler Bulldogs closing out strong here against the Xavier Musketeers. Butler working on an 8-5 record so far this season. In position for its first Big East victory. It'll take its 3rd straight here against the Musketeers. Again, a long-standing series between these two. Melanie Moore into her huddle, and Kurt Godlewski trying to manage the final minute here.
You know, Mike, one of the things that we talked about coming into this game is, you know, we knew that each player kind of had, each team had that standout player. Butler with Spolier, Xavier with Ariana Gray, but, you know, who is going to be those 2nd, 3rd, 4th scorers for each team? Morgan Sharps has scored a little bit for Xavier today. She's got 12 points, but there's 4 Butler players in double-figure scoring, and Caceres obviously has been the big story today for Butler with 23, but Spolier the 19 points, and you know Kat Strong's had 11, Toure has 10. You know, I think that Kurt Godlewski would be pleased if he could get those numbers from those 4 all year long.
Wasselson controls here. Gray gonna launch a 3, finds the back of the rim and won't fall. The ball is out off the Bulldogs. Xavier will keep it with 40.8 seconds to go. Xavier's out with Ayanna Townsend, Ariana Gray, Aaliyah Dunham, Lauren Wasselson. Gray and Wasselson, the primary 3-point threats there, along with Gomez. Gray picks up a foul there on the baseline. That's going to go against Shea Bry. That'll be Bry's 5th. So Shea Bry fouls out of the basketball game. Big piece today for the Butler Bulldogs. Didn't get into the scoring column, but did have 5 big rebounds, and just played tough defensively inside, came up with some timely plays on the floor.
Yeah, her stat line is not going to wow you, certainly, but her presence was felt. Much more of a subjective player than an objective player.
There were 17 Xavier turnovers so far, and I will imagine that Shea Bry was involved in at least half of them.
Mm-hmm.
And here's Ariana Gray at the free throw line. Knocks it up and in. Gray pushes her total to 25 for the afternoon. Second up and good. Now another timeout here for Kurt Godlewski with 37.5 seconds to go, and they'll be able to advance into the offensive zone. So 7 points here. Xavier will have a timeout remaining. What do you like for the Musketeers to try to maybe make this exciting down here at the end?
Well, maybe we'll see one trap before they try to foul, but really time is of the essence for Xavier. And you know, I think the best option really is to foul right away if you don't get the steal and make it a free throw game. That's where your hopes lie at this point if you're the Musketeers. And you know, if you're Kurt Godlewski and Butler, you got your best free throw shooters out on the floor, and you count on taking care of the basketball and getting to the free throw line.
Butler shooting 54% at the line today, 12 of 22 for the season. Quite a bit better. They're 68%. They trap Spolier. Foul will go against the Musketeers, and Ariana Gray her 4th. And now shooting opportunities here for Butler the rest of the way. And they'll put one of their best out there, Kristen Spolier, who's 4 for 5 at the stripe today. Oh, you're 78% for the season. And delivers in veteran fashion.
We talked about the turnovers here in the first half for Spolier, but she's really been terrific here in the second half, taking care of the ball and has provided some scoring punch.
Now a timeout here for Melanie Moore. As the timeout wars continue here in the final moments at Cintas Center. Butler Bulldogs 76, the Xavier Musketeers 67.
Well, Mel Moore not going to go home with that extra or with any of her timeouts, and Kurt Godlewski's got one left. He can't take it back to Indianapolis with him, so both coaches utilizing these special situations, the advancement of the ball, opportunity to go offense, defense.
Up next for Butler, January the 10th at 11:30 a.m. tip at Villanova. Then they'll finish up that road trip with Georgetown and come back home on the 17th and 19th to play Marquette and DePaul. And the Musketeers will travel to Georgetown and Villanova the 10th and the 12th, and then back here those same 2 dates to switch places with the Bulldogs, DePaul and Marquette in the Cintas Center, and Xavier will be on the road the rest of the month.
How about Villanova? Big win at Seton Hall yesterday afternoon. Well, Harry Peretta and his swan song. He's got a really good player, freshman Maddie Siegrist.
Leading the conference in scoring to start the day.
One of only 3 players Big East history to be named Freshman of the Week and Player of the Week. Pretty good company. Alzea Blockton, Maya Moore.
Ball in for Gray. She connects from the free throw line. And a timeout here for Kurt Godlewski. He'll take a full.
Godlewski says that timeout's not going back to Indianapolis with me, so no more timeouts. No more advancement of the ball.
So both coaches squeezing what's left of the strategy towel here as they wring their hands. Kurt Godlewski trying to manage out a victory here as Ariana Gray hits a wonderful floater from the free throw line. 28 now for Gray here this afternoon.
She's been terrific this afternoon. She has laid it all out there, and just not enough production from the rest. Really, yeah, I think Xavier's played well enough offensively. You know, they just haven't gotten enough stops when they've needed them. And that's been a big story for them, I think, you know, in these first couple months of the season. It's an area they really have to improve if they're going to, you know, become successful in the Big East play. You know, you give up 72 points a game. They've done it again today. You just can't win consistently with that kind of defensive effort.
So Butler inbounds in his offensive zone. Maybe making it difficult. Going to come up with a steal here for Gray. 29 seconds and 8 to get something up quick. Here's Wasselson going in. Can't get the layup to go, but picked up the foul. And that stops the clock with 27.1. But wait, there's more. As Lauren Wasselson gets to the free throw line. This will be her first free throw attempt of the afternoon. How interesting would it have been if that one would have fell? Wasselson is 75% for the season. Can't connect.
This one's big. I think Xavier's able to get into some full court pressure. Butler with no timeouts.
Both teams with 5 fouls here in the corners. Wasselson delivers there. And now Xavier to the full court pressure. They'll give it right to Spolier, will the Bulldogs. And Spolier fouled. 25.3 to go.
That's on Gray. Gonna end a productive day for that junior.
So Ariana Gray fouls out of the ballgame with a career best 28 points. Gray this afternoon, a huge force on the boards as usual. As you expect out of the Big East leading rebounder with 13 this afternoon. So Gray's third double-double of the campaign and the 19th of her career. And here's Spolier with some important free throws, and she'll glide that one home.
You could tell by that embrace, Mel Moore, with Ari Gray, that Coach was proud of her performance this afternoon. There will be better days.
Lead back to 8 for the Bulldogs. Dunham inside, blocked by Caceres. Cleaned up by Toure. Now out for Spolier. The Musketeers probably won't foul and prolong.
That's the white flag, and outstanding performance by Butler at the offensive end, particularly Caceres this afternoon.
So the Butler Bulldogs pick up their first Big East victory of the season, move to 1-2 in conference, 9-5 overall, and even the road record at 1-1. The Musketeers fall to 1-13 on the campaign, 0-3 in Big East play, now 1-7 here in Cintas Center. And the Bulldogs deliver a big victory for Kurt Godlewski, but had to earn it here this afternoon. Butler 78-70. We'll take a quick break and be back with more here from Cintas Center. The Butler Bulldogs victorious over Xavier, 78-70.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Mike Schmaltz, Rich Hoyt back with you on the Big East Digital Network here from Cintas Center. We're joined by Nida Caceres of the Butler Bulldogs. Monster afternoon for you today. You go out with a career best here in scoring. Did it all with a little banged up eye, too.
Yeah, with a black eye.
Kind of the epitome of Big East basketball today.
Wait.
With the eye.
Oh, well,
it hurt.
Yeah, it really doesn't hurt anymore. It's healing pretty well. At the beginning, the practice right after that game, it was really hurting, but now it's all good. It's getting better every day.
Talk about the effort here today. You lost a close one at home to Seton Hall. Kind of let that one get away late. You were able to grind this out today, and saw a little continuity coming together here with some new faces in your lineup.
Yeah, it was really tough to lose 2 games in a row at home, so we know that these 3 games that we have coming in, Georgetown and Villanova, so we wanted to start with a right foot, so we got the W here, so which was really important.
Talk about your afternoon, huge day from the floor. You come out of here with a big 20-point game, and how's that feel to get rolling here early in conference? Yeah.
It feels great, honestly. I've been practicing as hard as I can, trying to help my team, even in the offensive side, trying to score some points, and also on the defensive side, trying to get some rebounds. So I think that, hard work pays off, and it's showing.
7 boards for the afternoon as well.
Nida, early on, you got a couple open looks against Xavier's zone, and then particularly in the second half, looked like Coach wanted to post you up against their man a little bit. Was he trying to design a few things out of timeouts and such to get you some open looks?
Yeah, well, we were really running our plays, and I was getting open, and then I was able to post up, and then also the point guards were doing a really good job finding me in the pick and roll. So I was getting open looks, and I didn't hesitate. I just shoot that.
Now, you obviously had a little bit of a role on last year's team.
Mm-hmm.
And with this year's team, you got Kristen, who's one of the better scorers in the Big East Conference. You're still kind of finding some roles a little bit. What can you take from your performance today to build on throughout the rest of Big East season?
Well, I think that, me as a redshirt junior, I have to start stepping up more. I'm not a, upcoming sophomore. I'm not new, so I know the plays that we've been running. So the thing that I'm trying to do that I'm learning from the seniors is to be more vocal, trying to help the new people. If they don't know a play or a position, trying to guide them like where to screen, where to roll. So trying to be more vocal, I would say.
Talk about your defensive effort here as a team today. 17 Xavier turnovers. You guys scored 28 points off that. You're really able to make Xavier uncomfortable at critical times of the game.
Yeah, we really worked during practice. Our defense postseason, I would say there was some practices that we didn't even, run any plays. It was all the time defense, and I think we're doing a really good job being low eye and high eye, helping, rotating when someone helps you, help the helper basically. So I'm happy with how the team is working right now.
Well, 23 points looks pretty good, especially with that black eye. Congratulations on a great afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Nida Caceres, 23 points along with Kristen Spolyer's 23 points, and the Butler Bulldogs grind out a 78-70 victory for their first road victory in Big East play this season, first conference victory this season as well. So for our Big East Digital Network crew, our Xavier Media Services crew, and the voluminous basketball mind of Rich Hoyt, I'm Mike Schmaltz. Thanks for watching this afternoon. We'll see you back next time for women's basketball on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.